Hi, this is Sam.
This is Ram.
And we are with Office Performance, Effectiveness, Efficiency and Productivity, which is Office P.E.E.P. And we help build smart executives. And today we want to discuss in depth the topic of ethics, which affects so many of us in our day-to-day lives, in our decision making. So what is ethics? Ethics are simply defined as the moral principles that govern our behavior. Why is ethics important? I'll let Ram talk about it.
It helps us, guides us in making decisions. So why is it important? It's if you do not make the correct judgment of your decisions or your behaviors, you eventually have to suffer the consequences. In terms of it helps you save a lot of time, effort and energy in terms of making those right decisions.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, Ram. So, of course, ethics are important from two standpoints. One is the moral side of things, which is our day-to-day lives and how we see ourselves, how people see us, our reputations come into the picture. And also about the legal ramifications, because there are certain ethics that are enforced by law. The consequences are also legal, and that is where one has fiduciary duties. And for that aspect, I think it is good to address who are the people who face ethical dilemmas in their decision making the most, and therefore who are the people who need to keep ethics high up in their minds. So we of course have doctors, lawyers, financial advisors, real estate consultants. So essentially, if you notice, there is a trend that these are the people who are advisors. Normal people, lay people come to them for advice, and the professionals I just mentioned are the ones who advise them in the direction to take. Now, the key thing is the direction given to clients. Is it given in the best interest of the clients is the question. The others who are also facing ethical dilemmas a lot are company leaders, politicians and government heads who are in charge of good amounts of capital, how to deploy the capital, and also people's lives and people's careers, albeit at a higher level and not at as much at an interpersonal level.
So a lot of times you also want to decide and see that whatever decisions that you're making, number one, is it in favor of your organizations? Are you just looking at profitability, making money? Or at the same time, are you looking at the interests of your customers, your clients, your vendors, and to see whether what decisions you're making, how well balanced is it? So a lot of times when people make decisions, they have a lot of self-vested interests. And the moment when they get too caught up with their self-vested interests and protecting their own rice bowl and not looking at the greater good of their organization, or even the sense of trying to be greedy and trying to accumulate wealth, you end up making the wrong or the unethical decisions or behaviors. And this leads to a lot of consequences. It leads into tarnishing the reputation of the organization. It creates a lot of hatred or toxicity within the organization. And this eventually leads to absenteeism or people reducing their energy level or effort within the organization. They don't become productive anymore. They don't become efficient. They just do substandard work. They become like empty shells dragging themselves to an organization. And you notice that it doesn't become harmonious environment to work. And people forget to even make decisions. They actually they just become mindless. They just follow instructions and they lack initiative and ownership in what they're doing. And a lot of times even people do not communicate well because they keep a lot of information to themselves and they don't share it. This creates a lot of complacency. There's no progress that is being made.
Fantastic. I think, Ram, you gave a lot of good perspective right there. We at Office P.E.E.P., we have in our programs modules that help people discover their journey and their path to be naturally and effectively ethical. Being ethical smartly is what we call it. So we will expand on that a little bit more in our next video, which is how to choose the rules that we ought to be following and how to make it as easy for us as possible. And also this massive question, is it okay to be unethical in small measures or in the short term, but for what we think is the greater good, which means bending or breaking some rules, but for a bigger cause. So that will be in our next video. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned. Be ethical. Absolutely. Be ethical, but be smartly ethical. Take care, guys.